Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a full week since the last time we read one of these, and I bet you thought you were rid of me, but you would actually be wrong. Unfortunately, I think I might be here to stay, at least for the time being. I don't really think there's anything that I can say to prepare you to read this. I haven't read it myself, I don't read anything ahead of time, but I catch snippets of it during editing when I prepare to read it, and I read the tags, and I can assure you that this is definitely one of the most interesting things that I have had on the channel up until this point. So without further fuckery, let's read Beelevard of Beeroken Bees. Beelevard of Beeroken Bees. Barry Benson led a tragically poetic life. Barry B Benson. Every morning he woke up ever so early and washed his hair 3 times, then straightened it so it would be straight, just the way he liked it. He had a purple streak put in when he was 13, and he had kept it since. A lot of stupid preps hated him for that. They were all either jealous of his style and handsome face, or sexist against goths. His parents didn't understand him. They didn't like it that he always wore skinny jeans and wrote sad poems and listened to real music like My Chemical Romance, Green Day, and Paramore instead of prep bands like The Wanted and The Saturdays. You know what? Maybe it's indicated of some of the problems with my life that I don't recognize either of those so-called prep bands, but I've at least listened to once the other 3 that he listed there. Also, sexist against goths is a phrase that is in this section. I don't know if that's a phrase that makes any sense within the context of anything. Also, I'm going to take a moment to point out the so it would be straight and the purple streak in his hair since he was 13. I have never dyed my hair. I've never put streaks in my hair. I am firmly of the opinion that most dudes, when they do it, it looks really, really bad. Like, 9 times out of 10, if you're a dude and you dye your hair an unnatural color, it's gonna look bad. Like, maybe the one exception for it not making you look like a shitty DeviantArt OC as a real human being is those people that bleach the top of it for sporting shit, and I still think that makes you look like an asshole, but at least you don't look like a shitty DeviantArt OC. But carrying on. Well, the preppy idiots didn't like him. He had a great popularity with the other goths of the school. His BFFs were Vanessa, nicknamed Dark Soul, the super pretty human chick who dyed her hair black and wore black lipstick with black fishnets and a short red miniskirt. Surprisingly enough, not a black miniskirt. And Adam, also no shirt apparently, nicknamed Deathworm, who was a nerdy goth. He loved old vampire films, and he was sensitive. He got beat up by all the bully preps because he wasn't powerful or incredibly hot like Barry. Firstly, the story's already determined that the preps shit on Barry constantly, in spite of him as being called as attractive. Also, Vanessa is the name of the human woman from the actual movie, and I think Adam might be the name of the human man from the actual movie. It doesn't determine that Adam is a human, it determines that Vanessa is, but as best I can tell, Barry is still a bee in this, so let's see how this goes. They used to be in a band called Honey Dead Killers with their friend Ken. No, Ken was the name of the guy. But in middle school, Ken turned into a prep and started liking the Jonas Brothers and didn't play cool goth games anymore like drinking and spin the bottle, so they renamed the band Ballads from Wilting Begonias. Is that that's a motherfucking reference to the flower shop from the movie, isn't it? The poem of his life had so many verses, but most people only looked at the first line. Nobody knew the bee underneath the armor, the sensitive, stripy hottie. He walked into school and saw all the preppy kids in their school uniforms. He and his goth friends didn't wear school uniforms. They wore band t-shirts and skinny jeans and dyed their hair, which I think we're going to keep revisiting, because apparently the author wants us to know that they dye their hair, guys. Their hair is dyed. Did you notice that? Their hair is dyed, guys? The teacher would give them detention, but they just shouted, so the teachers were too scared. Hey Barry, what's up? Dark Soul said to him as he walked to his locker. I'm going to point out here that when you're the kind of like low-tier trash that people find on these fanfiction websites, and you offer people to include their OCs in exchange for them, like, spreading your story around, that's how you end up with characters with names like Dark Soul and, like, Blood Edge the Minion, which I'm going to drop a picture of at the end of this now that I've mentioned it. Not much, he said as he slumped against the locker. He only kept drugs in there because he never did his homework. It's like some of the people at school I know. Then he saw Deathworm, who was pushed up against a wall and being punched by Ken. Barry flew over and poked Ken in the eye. Listen here, honey fuck. He screeched, get the fuck off my fucking friend, you fucker. That reminds me, it's Dialogue. He poked Ken's eyes again, and Ken screamed and ran away. Barry turned to Deathworm. Are you okay? He demanded coolly. Yes, Barry, Deathworm said softly. Thanks. Together they flew back to... Okay, so Deathworm is a bee, evidently. Together they flew back to Dark Soul. Just at that moment, the hottest goth bee in the whole school flew by. She was named Tormentia Ursula Stormgatha, and she was in a band called Bleeding From My Eyes. Bleeding from my ears, really. She was the lead singer, and she looked like a girl version of Gerard Way, only hotter. Well, Gerard Way already looks like a girl with the eye makeup and whatnot. He looks like an angry lesbian. She did a lot of poetry and songwriting, and she played guitar, because everyone does. She gave Barry a cute smile as she went. What a fucking grade A sex bomb foxy girl, Barry remarked. Are we revisiting that with the no commas and just throwing shit on the screen to have it on the screen? Yeah, said Dark Soul and Deathworm. Tormentia had long, dark, black hair that covered her beautiful emerald orbs. There are a handful of things that, I'm not even going to call them authors, that people who write this shit do that pisses me off to no end. And top of the list is the use of certain words. Those words include the term pussy, the term slit, and probably the worst of all when referring to eyes, saying orbs. Fucking orbs. Orbs is like the cliche, everybody knows you don't know shit about what you're writing if you use the term orbs to refer to eyes, okay? It's like when you use words other than said in order to indicate tone because you don't know how to write tone into the voice of your characters, okay? It's just bad. She had a cute little button nose, and she wore black lipstick on her mouth as opposed to anywhere else. She had red streaks in her hair, and she wore a black tank top and a blue miniskirt and listened to Blink-182 because she wasn't a prep. She had black high tops, and she wore white eyeshadow like a hot goth. I think the story might actually be more depictions of characters and scenes than it is any other thing, including actual story. Barry decided to follow her down the corridor, and so he flew after her. Barry, what's happening? Exclaimed his friend. He went right up behind her and tapped her shoulder. Hey, Tormentia! Oh, hey, Barry Benson, right? She said sexily. Yeah, but you can call me Heartstab Benson. You're Tormentia Ursula Stormgatha. Yes, because I call everyone I know, especially people I don't know well, by their full name every time I refer to them. Of course, she said, giving a smile to him. I just thought maybe you and me should date, he asked, stumbling through his words. You're really sweet and cute, he said, having never spoken to her before. Sure, she said. That's good. The first period bell rang. Oh shoot, gotta go now. Talk to you at lunch, she sang as she flew away, but she went outside because she was cutting class to do drugs. Heartstab glanced at a poster for the Battle of the Bands that was coming up and read the names of the bands that it enlisted. His band, Ballads from Wilting Begonias. Ken's new prep band, Pirate Chain, fucking bastard bitchhead squealer. And Tormentia's band, Bleeding From My Eyes. They would have to compete against each other. It was lunch when Barry met up with Tormentia again. Tormentia, I can't do this any longer. I feel so... His voice dropped to a whisper. Sexually frustrated. Oh, baby, she whispered back. We can fix that. Barry and Tormentia flew away and snuck into one of the prep's lockers because doing it on a prep stuff was ironic, and also the prep would have to touch their sex stuff. It was Tormentia who acted first. She started to slowly take off Barry's clothes, his MCR t-shirt and his skinny jeans and his IDGAF boxers, which I can only assume were all purchased at Spencer Gifts because that's ironic and edgy and they sell sex things in there. ROFL at your underwear, she said as she ripped off his socks with her teeth. Are there feet? Feet weren't in the tags. I swear this better not get to be fucking feet. Then she took off her own tank top and miniskirt, which was blue if you recall from earlier. They were very keen on telling us that. They were naked for a minute, then they Frenched wildly and passionately, being no longer naked, of course, making out like wild animals. They could hear people walk around outside, then they pressed their hot bee bodies together, grinding and grinding. Then Barry put his thing in her, and they kept... You know what? I'll grant him this. They didn't use the term slit or pussy yet. OMG, they screamed in unison. It felt so good. Tormentia then used a piece of honeycomb to gag Barry for some bondage because there was just honeycomb lying around in this prep's locker. They spent 10 more minutes with her dominating him and smeared some fluids on the prep's homework. Then they redressed quickly because only preps cuddle after they do it. That was so good, but can we really be together? Barry said quietly. You know, I was expecting B puns, and I'm not sure if I'm disappointed that this is the first one, 10.5 minutes in, or that there wasn't more, or if I'm disappointed that they showed up at all, and I wasn't wrong about there being B puns in this. But either way, that's bad. Also, is every student in this school that isn't one of the Bs a prep? Are the other Bs preps? How does this school work? Are they attending a human school? Apparently they are, because they fit in the locker, but why is there honeycomb? We'll revisit these questions. What do you mean? Well, you know, Battle of the Bands? Yeah, she said slowly. He took a deep breath. I am the lead guitarist of Ballads from Wilting Begonias. We're going to be competing. She gasped and slapped him. Why didn't you tell me that earlier, you preppy duck fucker? He rubbed his tender skin. I'm sorry, Fuck you, Barry. Her voice softened. Sorry, you're a fucking prick, but I really love you. Like Romeo and Juliet, our love is forbidden. Because, yes, that's definitely a good parallel to draw. Hopefully, spoiler alert, this also ends like Romeo and Juliet, where everyone kills themselves. Barry said, almost weeping, revealing his soft and sensitive side to the girl bee. Fucking pussy, she mumbled. See you after school for more sexual stuff. I have some super sticky honey at home if you're interested. What the fuck does that make any sense? I don't know what you're planning to do with that, but I am in. I don't know either, Barry. Yeah, baby. Then they went away without anyone seeing that they had been together. OMG, Dark Soul and Deathworm, hi, Barry called to his friends at the cafeteria table. How are you guys? Where were you? Dark Soul asked. Anyway, yeah, we're having band practice after school. Be there, jellyfuck. Oh, I'm sorry. I have plans after school. OMG, Barry, Dark Soul cried. With a girl? Yeah. Didn't they take efforts to not be noticed? Suddenly, Deathworm started to sniff the air. You smell of honey dust perfume. Only Tormentia Ursula Stormgatha wears that. Barry, how could you? She is the enemy. Again, a character that we have no context for, having ever spoken to this person, used their full name to refer to them. And on the one hand, that sounds like an actual name more so than Deathworm or fucking whatever the other one was, but it's still bad. Lay the fuck off, Adam nerd, he yelled, fisting Deathworm's face hard. Everyone in the room stopped and stared. Fuck you, Adam, Barry continued. Hey, everybody, Barry's a stupid prep who needs to be beaten up. Barry laughed evilly. Good luck, honey fucker. Or should I say, Adam, did Barry call for himself to be beaten up? Because it didn't indicate that the dialogue changed, and this author's actually been using paragraphs to mark dialogue, shockingly enough, so I'm confused. As if that was the least bad, as if that was the most egregious thing that needed to have our attention. Barry, why? Barry ran out to the tree off school grounds with a drug. He decided to take the drug and become high. Singular drug. He bit the drug and poured it into himself, touching himself a little to boost the high. All of a sudden, his surroundings started to go all druggy, and he took one alcohol as well. Wow, I'm going to write songs now, he whispered. He took out his notebook and wrote. Okay, this is an actual song, and I'm going to actually sing it now, so get ready for that. Get ready for that to happen. You Are a Fox by Barry B Benson. First time I saw you, I knew I was love, and you were an angel from up above, and our bands can't keep us apart. You can't keep apart two synchronized hearts. My little darling, don't be scared. The connection we have is special and rare. It'll protect it at all cost. Didn't worry, I'll do it whatever the cost. First time I saw you, I knew I was love, and you were an angel from up above, and our bands can't keep us apart. You can't keep apart two synchronized hearts. Adam is a fucking prep, and he doesn't understand. The N-way I want to sex you and hold your hand, but the others don't matter if it's us and it's true, 'cause together forever, me and you. First time I saw you, I knew I was love, and you were an angel from up above, and our bands can't keep us apart. You can't keep apart two synchronized hearts. I love you 'cause you're pretty and sweet. I love you 'cause you're intelligent. I love you and you're super fucking hot. Oh my BB girl, you're a fucking fox. Ugh. Barry, why? Barry ran out to the tree off school grounds with a drug. Oh fuck, hang on. Barry cried tears of joy and high on the paper. I love you, Tormentia, he whispered as he drifted off to sleep under the shade of the tree. That's how it ends. That's the end of it. There's no battle of the bands. The author doesn't have a to be continued. That's just the whole story. Is that good? Is that bad? Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good that there's no more to this story. Maybe it's bad that those people that evidently had their OCs dropped into this won't get to see their OCs do more stupid bullshit. Maybe that's bad. For them, of course. Not for us. Not for me. Not for you. Ugh. I read that whole thing. I really read that. I really sang that part there. I hope you guys appreciated that. I wish I didn't. But yeah, rating time. I'm supposed to give this a rating. Grammar. Grammar first. Well, I didn't display the text on screen because I didn't feel like copying out all of it, but the song, literally almost every single word in that song was misspelled. That being said, however, the rest of it was actually reasonably well written grammatically. There were relatively few run-on sentences. They started new lines they started new paragraphs when there was dialogue. Spelling was correct. Grammar was correct for the most part. Overall, the grammar of this one wasn't terrible, but because of the song, I'm going to put it down a 6 out of 10 for grammar. 6 out of 10 for grammar. Then for content, I can only hope that this was written as a joke and that, everybody in this story was together in the room writing this, laughing at how fucking stupid it was. Because if somebody wrote this to be a serious story, it's not even that sexual, but if somebody wrote this to be a serious story, intended to be read and enjoyed by the people in it, I don't understand, and I can't understand because it was just so bad. Apparently everyone in the school is a prep, and also the Goths are actually just misandrists because they hate everyone. Or, that's the wrong word. They hate everyone. There's a word for that. And they skip school to do one drug, one alcohol. I can't fathom that this wasn't written as a joke, but having been on the internet for as long as I have, I really wouldn't be surprised if somebody actually intended for this to be serious. His friends have fucking stupid names. The author spends more time on the descriptions of what the characters look like and are wearing than he spends writing actual story content. It's dripping with shitty OCs, nothing is explained, there's no reason for this to be B-movie. Seriously, there's no reason for this to be B-movie. This didn't have to be B-movie, it doesn't have any bearing on the B-movie, the B-movie has nothing to do with the plot of the fanfiction, it's just B-movie. And for that, I give this a 4 out of 10 for quality. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening and sitting through all of that with me, because this is a journey that we take together as a society. I'm sorry that you had to watch that, I'm sorry you had to listen to that, but I would appreciate it if you watched the rest of my content, I would appreciate it if you subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon to turn on notifications, of course, because I'm a hack and a shill. If you want to drop comments, I actually like reading them, because 9 times out of 10 you guys say really fucking stupid shit in the comments, and it's great. But yes, current goal is to get to 50 subscribers, at which point I think I'm going to read the entirety of the Lorax script. I'm going to have guest people come in to do the different parts. It's going to be great. And long-term goal, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized and YouTube can tell me that I'm not allowed to have money for this instead of me just assuming and not getting anything. But thanks for watching.